Nice weather. Yeah, here it's gonna be nice. Yeah, we got hopefully a lot of traffic.
Okay, I'm going to start the recording and we'll be live.
Over here. What did she sent you an email earlier? If she's around, she could just come on up here. Oh. We'll be right there, Patrick. We're just
No problem.
yeah. Zoom. You sent it out.
Mhm.
Must have just sent something out. Yep, Debbie's, yeah, Pat sent it, yeah. Yeah, let's get started and we can just let her right. Oh,
We are live.
she there? No, no.
I'll call her in as soon as she gets
Okay.
there.
This is the Corporation of Harpers Ferry Parking Committee meeting today. This is a special meeting both on face-to-face and Zoom. It's 2 o'clock on March 4th, 2022. And let me read the comments that we have to do in front of our meetings. Until further notice, the Corporation of Harpers Ferry governing deliberative bodies will hold its meetings and/or hearings virtually by Zoom, which provides for public participation during a public comment period when applicable and when posted on the agenda. Alternatively, the public may watch by YouTube or listen by telephone. These options comply with the West Virginia Open Governmental Meetings Act. And that's it. So we'll start the meeting. Just while you're here, Patrick, approval of the agenda.
Yeah, I move to approve the agenda.
I'll second it. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that was hard. Moving along. Okay, approval of the minutes. There may have been other meetings in the past, but I just grabbed what I could find. This is for you did 2 of them, Patrick. The February 24th meeting of 2021 and the May 12th meeting of 2021. No, November 6th. No, May 12th, and then the older one. I don't know who did those meetings, but I had a copy. So, I move to approve all 3 special meetings as of November 6th, meeting of 2020, February 24th, 2021, and May 12th, 2021.
I second that.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. We've never had meetings actually in the system approved. I found out, Patrick, that because we didn't have quote regular meetings under the way the rules are written, we weren't supposed to approve them. But then I found out that if you don't ever hold a regular meeting, you can do it in a special meeting.
Good.
I can't tell you how many other committees I'm in, and then or commissions and special meetings we cannot approve meeting minutes. So.
Oh, okay.
All right. So new business, discussion and action using taped street parking lines and signage. I didn't send anything out on that because it's basically we were thinking about painting lines. And by the way, I looked at our lines on Potomac Street. They're fading out. So we have to, those do need to be relined, and there's some things up here we should be doing. And one of the things that in my research I found that you can use tape lines.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of a removable, but there's also permanent versions of them, and they're reflectorized, which is and probably more durable than paint. And they're not terribly expensive, and we could try one place, try it out, and see how it works. If it it doesn't work. I'm a little concerned about Potomac Street because it's so bumpy. If you look at the surface, it's not smooth like your
Right.
normal cement or asphalt. So, but my suggestion is to try it. It's not too expensive. We can do it ourselves. You know, I spoke to Larry
Mhm.
Waters, who does our maintenance, and I explained it to him, and he thought it was very, very doable for him, and I can help him out, and maybe the chief as well. So we don't have to do anything today. We could make it a motion, but the thing is, we already approved doing lines
Mhm.
in the future. Now, as for the street lines, we talked about doing lines on the street, on Washington Street. We've got a problem with our shoulders, severe problem, as you're aware. The mayor, Vaughn, has tried, he's been talking to West Virginia DOH, and he can't seem to get them to come up and put asphalt down, you know, along our shoulders, and we need it desperately. So I spoke to the mayor about potentially using 57 crushed gravel in it as a temporary. It could fill in, water can go through it, but vehicles can at least drive on it until someday they decide to patch it. And this gravel already, or this crushed stone already there, is a great base for the street. That's what they would use anyway. So we're going to put that in the budget to handle that. And then when they're repaired, or at least we have something down, we're hoping that eventually the state comes in and actually does their paving job on those shoulders. And then we can put lines down on them. What do you think, Chief? Well, that's why 57 is bigger. And we've been using too light a crushed stone. Yeah, we need to use heavier. That's like a finished stone they put on, and you're right. And they may blow that out. But we have a predicament. Because we don't have curbs that kind of tighten up that holds everything together, it's going to continue to break.
Right. Yep.
And it looks terrible.
And it's a safety issue.
I think it's a safety issue. Yeah, somebody can hurt themselves getting out of their car. It could definitely damage cars. There's no question about it. Like a Tesla pulling in, you know, they're fairly low, or a Corvette. I mean, it could be dragging.
Pricing, that's for
We haven't done that.
we should.
Okay.
You know, put a temporary end. And the road read.
Chief, can I ask you to speak up a little bit? I'm having trouble hearing you.
I was making reference to make asphalt in those areas that are rough, temporary asphalt.
Yeah, they have what's called coal patch. I believe you don't need a steamroller. You just kind of stamp it, right?
Correct.
We got to do something.
Right.
With the season coming up, and it's kind of, you know, it's kind of hard for us to ask for $2 to $3 an hour or $2 an hour from Washington Street, and you got to park in such efficient parking spots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in some areas.
In some areas.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to try out this tape. We'll try out the asphalt and the gravel. We'll get something done. Discussion action of the new park mobile signs and installation plan. Next item. Patrick, did you see the sign?
I did see the sign. I think they're an improvement because they provide alternative ways for people to pay. For example, texting, rather than having to download the app. You know, as you know, we live on Washington Street, and my wife and I see people struggle all the time to try and download that app. It takes a while for them to do it. I think the self-service connectivity is better than what it used to be, but it's not convenient for people. So if we can make it more convenient for people to pay, one, we probably would have increased compliance. And two, I just think it's the right thing to do.
Okay. The installation plan is basically Larry Waters, who I've already spoken to, and he's going to start in the next week or so. Not all of them at once, but he's going to phase it, every day, do a certain amount of them.
Okay.
I like these new sign colors. I think they're more appropriate for Harpers Ferry. They have more of a park,
Mhm.
the green and black. I wish they were brown. I did ask for different colors, but they said they have branding at Park Mobile.
Right.
I also want to change the font. They didn't want to go for that, so I said they sent me that, and I said, but they got our logo on it. Good logos we have. That's but it's something.
Right.
So I was able to get that on, and they were good.
Good.
The other thing, Patrick, we did not put pricing on them like we did with these stickers, and they were a real problem. And they suggested most municipalities don't put pricing on them. That way we can change in the future. These signs will be on there for years. In the future, we can change our pricing without changing all the stickers and everything.
Right.
But they said they almost don't do them anymore like that.
Do the consumers get a notice when they're paying of what the pricing would
Yes.
be?
Yes, they get a notice on their app.
It's on the app.
And if they use these alternative ways to pay, would they receive some sort of notification before they're charged of what they're
I
going
think
to
they
be?
can see it before they even,
Right.
yeah, they have to agree to it.
Okay.
There's another issue coming up on this weird, I didn't put it on the agenda because it has to do more with the contract. So let me get into that. And I'll talk about that in that contract number 5.
Okay.
Okay, so the signs, they're going up. We're taking down the old ones. You want any of them? They make good shingles or something.
Maybe we could free cycle them.
Recycle them, yeah. Yeah, I wonder if we can, yeah, good idea. They're heavy. I have the box that they've mailed us. Oh my gosh, it's a heavy box, let me tell you. So the next item, discussion action for modification of the mailbox rack plan. And I've been talking about these racks for a couple of years now. I did some research over the winter with the gentleman who does work with stone, iron, wood. He liked the rack idea, but it's a big complex project. It is the rack, making these custom racks are really difficult. So it just about 2 months ago, it just popped in my head because I watched some people putting up some boxes right across on Washington, right across from the ATC headquarters. And they're using 4x4s and they paint the poles black. And I thought they looked rather smart. And they also were tighter. And that's not a spot that we need to worry about because there's no parking there.
Correct.
But
Right.
it looked real good. And we can move, and I talked to Larry about it, and he can do this work, so we don't need somebody on the outside. We can work it on the inside with our own person. The racks, we have to develop a communication strategy. We have to reach out to the whoever owns those boxes. But the idea is, and I thought we would do something. The next item, we'll talk about it. Okay, but the thought is just using these 4x4s. We tighten them up and we move them to different locations. That's all. I talked to the post office or our postman, Chris, and he says it doesn't make any difference, except he does not want them to be changed, their order changed. Keep the same order. There's also guidelines on the United States Postal Service's website, how high they're supposed to be and how far off the road. So we're going to abide by those regulations. Now, they are sitting on town easement, so it's not technically the federal government's property, or it's really our property. So, but we want permission from the owners, and we're going to put in brand new posts. Unless their post is really nice and we can save it, we'll use it. But we're just going to tighten them up. That's all, and move them to the ends of the block.
I think that there will be better community buy-in if we go that route rather than the rack route.
Okay, I agree. It's not that super radical. The rack is a little more work, and trying to get these people to do stuff, it's very hard. These landscapers, well, he's the guy that does a lot of landscape walls and stuff. They're hard to get a hold of. I mean,
Yes.
real hard. Okay, so I don't think we need an action unless we had already kind of done the rack idea. Approved. The money's in the budget for the town budget to do this. It was there from last year, and as long as we do it before the end of the fiscal year, which is the end of June, we'll be good. This June.
So we're just going to Washington Street for now, or are we going to do all the side streets as well eventually?
They don't have boxes.
On the side streets?
Yeah, well, okay, there's something weird. I don't understand this in Harpers Ferry, but why boxes on the back side of the town hall, they're allowed to put boxes in front of their houses, whereas people who live in the older part of Harpers Ferry or Camp Hill can only put them on Washington Street. Do you know, Patrick, why that is?
I don't know why that is, no.
I mean, why can't, Bishop or Fleming or Hume have a box in Ridge, or I can have one in Fillmore? But I was told when I moved into my house 5 years ago, your box is on Fillmore.
What?
The old box that Joe Anderson had.
Right.
So, or go to the post office. And by the way, you'll notice another thing that's going on is they're adding a lot of boxes. You may have noticed that all these new residents that are moving to Harpers Ferry, they are adding boxes. They're not getting post boxes like people in the past. They're getting boxes. And so what's going on is they're stretching out. We've lost a couple more parking spots because they're stretched out. So the problem's getting worse, not better. So
Well, hopefully we can make some improvements.
yeah, I think this black post will be more good, and we can always repaint them and all that. And also it gives an owner an opportunity to change their mailbox out. Today, many people get Amazon packages in their boxes, and they might very well want a larger box. The box from 20 years ago,
Right.
probably not sufficient. I have a bigger box because I get a lot of packages from Amazon. Okay, I feel like we're in the postal service here. The other one, number 4, discussion action for scheduling a field inspection of the mailboxes. We did it once before. We're going to do a prototype in front of the women's club boxes, or there's 3 boxes there, and move it closer to Decals' house. But I want to get them all figured out, the whole street.
Okay.
So, but Barbara's not here, so I don't know what's a good time.
Well, why don't we agree that the parking committee will do this field research, and then
Okay,
we can coordinate with Barbara on a
with each
schedule.
other.
Yep.
So I don't think we need an action item on it, but just,
It's no decisions being made. We're just
no,
doing some research.
yep. Okay, number 5, discussion action of the pending contract with Park Mobile. So about 10 days ago, I got a call from Park Mobile. About the signs. We were talking about the signs, and they were delivering them all that. And they said, "Oh, by the way, we don't have a contract with Park Mobile. We're supposed to have a contract." The guy noticed it, and he said, "We will get back with you about it." And I said, "Okay, contract's fine, but they don't have it done, and that's why I don't have it." I thought maybe I might have
Okay.
it.
So that's renewable. So is that done every year or every other year?
It sounds like you do one for a long time.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think we had one in place originally coming up on our expiration agreement.
Yeah, nobody's ever given me a file on it to tell me.
That would have been Hardy Johnson.
He said though, he said he didn't think there was a contract. That's what he told me.
Hardy took care of all that. So follow up with them to see.
Well, we'll just wait for them. They're gonna get with their attorney. Apparently it's specific for each municipality, a contract. It's not a cookie cutter thing. Or maybe it is, and they cut and slice and all that, but he said they have to get with their legal people.
And I think that the town's attorney should look at it. as
Yes,
well.
of course.
Okay.
At that point, I would highly suggest that. Yes, I have
Yep.
no intentions of not using our town attorney.
Excellent.
So I just wanted you to be aware that there's something coming.
Okay. Yep.
And we might do a short meeting if it comes and we need to, you know, look it over. Okay.
Sounds good.
The other thing, discussion and action on progress on the residential parking decals. Verlissa, who's right here with us, and she's our moderator or host or whatever for this meeting. We got the list. I don't know what it's compared to last year, but it's only a page and a half. It's not very many people. And the reason it's going to probably be more important is particularly with the summer coming, people are going to start parking where they shouldn't be parking. And, I wish people would use this. I mean, I know Barbara Hume was like not crazy about it, but I said, Barbara, one, it's $5. But I said, Barbara, you then can park any place in town other than a parking spot, you don't pay, but you can park any place in town and there's no problem. But if you don't have this decal, it could be a problem. You could get a ticket.
Ooh, correct. So most people like to have a little say in the parking in front of residents. So by them participating in the program, we allow them to have residential parking areas, which will come in and enforce if they're or people park in those areas without their stickers, proper stickers to be parked there. So it makes things a little easier for the officer to do enforcement, knowing it's a resident or not a resident.
Right.
So, Chief,
you know what he means by that?
Pardon me?
You know what he meant by that? About this parking?
well, I heard him say that, if they have the compliant sticker, it makes enforcement easier for the officers.
Yeah.
And my question for the chief is that would he be willing to have the officers give people like not a citation, but a warning letter or a notice saying that, you need to have a parking sticker or,
Residents?
pardon me?
Are you speaking of the residents that haven't?
Yeah, yes. Like, my wife and I, we walk around town all the time and there's a lot of non-compliance.
Correct.
And rather than start issuing citations, we come up with some sort of notice that could go under the windshield wiper that the officers could.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Patrick. I think there's also a lot of expired stickers.
Right.
They don't count. Got to be current. And so, yeah, if you could just something to slip under the windshield that would be, if the newsletter doesn't appear to be doing it. I have asked Patty to put it in and she has, and maybe people are waiting for the spring. Matter of fact, I've spoken to a few people on council that don't have stickers. And I'm going to remind them.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
Like I said before, I believe more coming, kind of starting to warm up a little bit. People are starting to trickle and it does flip their mind, but when we're out, we can put reminders on vehicles that we notice to have the expired stickers as well. We'll come up with something.
Okay.
So I would be happy to put together a draft notice for the committee's and the chief's consideration. And we can start executing on this hopefully in the near future.
Yeah, good idea. That would be appreciated. Don't make it too serious. I don't want to scare people. Scare them enough, but
No, it's not threatening. Just what the facts are. This is the standard. This is the expectation, and these are the consequences.
right.
And this is how you can get the sticker. You don't even have to go to town hall. This is the process that you can follow. You can either go to town hall, you can make an appointment, you can send in the materials and a check and receive it via mail. If
they come to town hall, the appointment thing is probably key because Verlissa works in the police department. She's the police clerk in the morning, and then sometime in the afternoon, she becomes the town clerk. So
Right.
she's physically in two different places, so it'd be best to make an appointment.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
I'll accommodate
right,
that.
right, Melissa? Because I think we had somebody come down here hunting for you, and they couldn't find you. And I don't think it was about parking, it was something else. All right, doing good. Yeah, we're good. And the last item is old business, discussion action developing that 909 ordinance, and we said we want this, and I presented it to town council, and I basically got blown out of the water within a minute because we don't own the street. Greg Vaughn reminded me, and it's true, it's owned by the state, and we are not allowed to, he just felt we weren't allowed to put in this type of warning signage having to do with emergency, you know, where it gets called as an emergency and we want cars not to be parked on the shoulder. Right. So,
Chief, the town does not have jurisdiction over Washington Street for purposes of vehicle and traffic law?
Well, we do have jurisdiction over Washington Street. I think the mayor was just questioning if he wanted us to enforce the emergency snow removal route, is what you were.
right. Many towns have them. Yeah.
Yes, and so if we implemented that, we would be able to enforce vehicles that, you know, we were, some towns, I believe it's over a certain amount of snow that they're not supposed to be parked there if once it's being an emergency snow removal road. And that's to get the snow cleaned up and back out of the way to prepare for the next storm. So if we adopt this, then we would be able to enforce it.
All right.
But you know, that's not something we're going to approve here. I mean, that would be a council approval.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So what I'm hearing is that there's not a legal impediment to adopting this policy, but it's a policy choice. Did the town council have the wisdom and information from the chief when they were debating this matter?
No.
So maybe you could take another run at them, because as a resident of Washington Street, you know, while I do have a driveway, when we have had big snows, it has been a problem. And then I see that the town has to pay more money to bring the crews back to have them clear out once people get around to, you know, and they're not fast moving those cars. You know, a week may go by, and because of that, other people can't park. The road is unnecessarily constrained in width. So, you know, this is something that I think is worth going back to council and letting them know that the chief has opined that we legally could do this.
Okay. And I think we'll maybe also pull in the town attorney to make sure that this is okay. Because I'm sure, because he's the city attorney for Martinsburg, so I'm sure they have an ordinance. And I did look at other ordinances around us. Yeah, but I've already, I constructed one, and the committee looked at it and seemed fair. And all, like, I mean, I don't care if people park at town hall, you know, if they're, you know, but just get it off Washington, our main street. That's we're parking a side road.
Right.
So
correct. That's the biggest issue.
Okay.
I see when we're going snow removal is we're plowing around vehicles, you know, and it's kind of hard for the guys to properly plow once those vehicles are in your way. You're either plowing somebody in or you're having to plow around them. You could have a clean swipe and keep going.
yeah, I can tell you, I had to call back 2 years ago, and it cost us it was over $1,000 to get them back up here from Cornerstone. So, and don't even get me into snow removal. Oh my God. it's a no win thing. It's like throwing money out the window, snow removal. It's terrible. Fortunately, this year we're within budget, so we're good.
Mother Nature was kind
I
to us.
will continue it.
Okay.
I don't think we need a motion because we already had it there, but the mayor he shut me down pretty hard, and I didn't have chief with me, and nobody else said anything, and
I believe most of the people that live along Washington Street have driveways that they can put cars in, out of the way, so the guys can, the crews can get properly.
Yeah.
And it's just a short period of time. I mean,
yeah, it's just a few days.
yeah.
And we can work with individual owners and tell them where they can park. You know, if there's a storm approaching, we can say, you know, maybe with the police, you know, with the police department, here's where you can park. Here's a good spot for you. And over here, you can park over here. There's only like 3 or 4 cars that do this.
Right.
But
Nonetheless, it costs us.
it costs us. I mean, it's not free.
Right.
So, okay.
So can I just
go ahead.
ask the chief while we have him here? You know, they have this detour along Ridge Street, down Gilmore Street, and then back to Washington Street now. And
Yes, sir. With the construction going on, correct?
yeah, during this period of construction, you know, I think that there's more traffic going on through there. And I don't know if you've taken the cruiser down Gilmore recently, but some of the residents through there park along the street, and it very much makes it a narrow way. And I doubt that if we had to have an emergency vehicle go through there or a utility truck, that they would probably struggle to make it through there. So I don't know whether or not we want to, you know, provide some guidance to folks who are parking on Gilmore Street to maybe not do that, particularly while the detour is in place.
So I've made a couple rounds through there. I didn't really notice anybody parked in the roadway area like you're saying, but we will monitor it more and speak to the residents in that area as well if it's a problem.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Anything else, Chief, or anything I missed? Or the parking, by the way, is doing well.
Good.
You know, I am now on it and on the website, and I can tell you, we get parking revenue every single day. Even on, you know, the weekdays. I mean, it's not maybe it's $10, but we get parking money every single day. So it works.
Great.
It's a good system. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Okay. I guess with that, we'll conclude our meeting. I make a motion that we end our meeting at, what time is it?
2:35 p.m.
2:35 p.m.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So think about a date. We'll have to, maybe I'll send an email out for Barbara.
Okay. All right. Thank you all.
Hey, I look like Farmer Joe over here.